Most men believe attraction begins with looks. But the truth is, attraction often begins with a sentence that touches a part of a woman no one else sees. Think about that for a moment. Every day, people throw compliments around like loose change. You're pretty, nice dress, you look good today. Words that fall flat before they even land. And yet, somewhere in the world right now, a woman is remembering a single sentence someone told her years ago. A sentence that made her pause. A sentence that made her feel seen in a way she had never experienced before. That is the power of the right compliment. Because the human mind is wired for recognition. We are drawn toward the people who understand us and away from those who only notice the surface. Most men make a simple mistake. They compliment what everyone else can see. But the compliments that truly create emotional attraction go deeper. They speak to identity, character, and inner qualities that rarely get acknowledged. When a woman hears a compliment that reflects who she truly is, something subtle happens inside her mind. She feels understood. And feeling understood is one of the strongest emotional magnets in human psychology. The first compliment that creates this effect is surprisingly simple. Tell her that she has a calming presence, not in a rehearsed or dramatic way, but in a genuine moment. Something like, "You know, there's something about your energy that makes people feel comfortable." At first, she may even look slightly surprised, because very few people recognize this quality in others. But what you've just done is powerful. You've acknowledged something emotional rather than physical, something deeper than appearance. And when someone feels emotionally recognized, their brain releases a quiet sense of trust. Another compliment that quietly builds attraction is when you notice the way she thinks. You might say, "I like the way you look at things. You think differently." This does something fascinating. Most people go through life feeling interchangeable, replaceable, like just another face in the crowd. But when someone acknowledges the uniqueness of their mind, it activates something psychologists call identity validation. It reassures the brain that who they are matters, and people naturally move toward the individuals who make them feel significant. But here's something important. A compliment only works when it feels authentic. The human brain is incredibly good at detecting insincerity. When a compliment sounds rehearsed or manipulative, it creates distance instead of connection. Real compliments come from observation. They come from actually noticing things about someone, the way they treat others, the way they speak, the way they carry themselves. And when a woman senses that you're paying attention in this way, you separate yourself from the crowd instantly. Because attention is rare. Most people are distracted. Most conversations are shallow. Most interactions are forgettable. But the person who truly notices becomes unforgettable. And that's where emotional attraction quietly begins. Not with loud words, not with exaggerated praise, but with a single moment where someone feels genuinely seen. And as simple as that sounds, it can change the way someone looks at you forever. There is a quiet truth about attraction that many people never realize. The strongest compliments are not the ones that impress someone. They are the ones that make someone feel valued for who they are becoming. Human beings are drawn toward those who recognize their growth. Think about it. Everyone has parts of themselves they are trying to improve, parts they are building quietly, often without recognition. When someone notices that effort, it feels deeply validating. That is why one of the most powerful compliments you can give a woman is acknowledging her strength, not in an exaggerated way, not like a motivational speech, but in a calm, observant tone. Something like, "You seem like someone who handles challenges really well." Now here's what makes that powerful. You're not complimenting her appearance, you're recognizing her resilience. And resilience is something people often build through difficult experiences. When someone acknowledges it, they're indirectly acknowledging the journey behind it. Psychologically, this creates emotional depth in the interaction. Another compliment that carries surprising impact is recognizing her independence. Many people underestimate how meaningful this is. A simple sentence like, "I respect how independent you seem." It tells her something important. You are not trying to control her. You are not intimidated by her individuality. You actually admire it. For many women, this kind of recognition feels refreshing, because independence is often misunderstood. When someone acknowledges it as a strength, it builds respect on both sides. And respect is a foundation of attraction that lasts longer than surface-level charm. Then there is a compliment that might seem small, but carries emotional weight when it's sincere. Compliment her kindness, not in a generic way, but in a specific moment. Maybe you notice the way she treats a waiter with patience, or the way she listens carefully when someone else speaks. You might simply say, "I like how thoughtful you are with people." This type of compliment does something interesting. Kindness is often invisible. Many kind people move through life quietly doing good things without acknowledgement, so when someone notices it, the impact feels genuine, and genuine moments create emotional memory. Now here is something important to remember. Attraction is rarely built in one dramatic moment. It grows through small emotional impressions over time. Each meaningful compliment becomes a small emotional anchor in someone's memory, a moment where they felt respected, a moment where they felt understood. And when those moments accumulate, something changes in the dynamic between two people. Comfort grows, trust grows, and slowly, attraction begins to grow alongside them. Because the human heart does not open to the loudest voice in the room. It opens to the person who sees what others overlook, the one who recognizes strength, independence, and kindness, the one who speaks words that feel thoughtful rather than rehearsed. And in a world where conversations are often shallow, that kind of depth becomes incredibly rare, which is exactly why it becomes so powerful. There is something fascinating about the human mind. We remember the people who make us feel understood. Not the loudest person in the room, not the most impressive resume, but the person who seemed to look past the surface and recognize something deeper. This is where another powerful compliment comes into play. Appreciating someone's curiosity. Curiosity is the quiet engine behind intelligence, creativity, and growth. But most people never receive recognition for it. Imagine saying something simple like, "I like how curious you are about things." It seems small, almost casual, but the emotional effect can be profound. Why? Because curiosity reflects how someone engages with the world. It says they are open-minded, thoughtful, interested in learning rather than pretending to know everything. When someone notices this quality, it reinforces a positive identity, and people naturally feel drawn toward those who affirm the best parts of who they are. Another compliment that creates emotional warmth is acknowledging authenticity. In a world where many people feel pressure to present a polished version of themselves, authenticity stands out. You might say, "I appreciate how genuine you are." Now here's the psychological magic behind that sentence. When someone feels safe to be themselves around you, it reduces emotional tension. The brain stops scanning for judgment and begins relaxing into the interaction. Authenticity becomes the foundation of emotional attraction because it allows both people to drop the performance and simply connect. Then there is a compliment that touches something deeply personal. Acknowledging her passion. Everyone has something they care about deeply. Maybe it's a career goal, maybe it's a creative hobby, maybe it's helping others. When you say something like, "I can tell you're really passionate about what you do," you're recognizing something that matters to her identity. And identity-level compliments are incredibly powerful. They signal that you're not just listening to words, you're paying attention to meaning. Now here's the deeper insight most people overlook. Attraction grows when someone feels emotionally safe, intellectually respected, and personally valued. Compliments that touch these areas activate emotional engagement. They tell the brain that this person understands something important about me. And when that happens repeatedly, a sense of connection begins to form. But there is one more element that makes these compliments truly effective: timing. A compliment delivered at the right moment feels natural and sincere. For example, recognizing curiosity right after an interesting conversation, acknowledging passion when someone talks about something they love. Moments like these feel organic, and authenticity is the secret ingredient behind every powerful compliment. Because people are not attracted to perfectly crafted lines, they are attracted to emotional honesty. When words come from genuine observation, they carry weight. They feel real. And real moments stay in memory far longer than rehearsed ones. That's why the most meaningful compliments don't feel like techniques. They feel like truth. And when someone hears truth about themselves that they rarely hear from others, it creates a quiet emotional shift. a shift that can slowly transform how they see you, not as just another conversation, but as someone who truly understands them. There is one final compliment that carries more emotional power than most people realize. It's not dramatic, it's not poetic, but when it's sincere, it can change the entire energy between two people. Recognizing the way someone makes others feel. You might say something like, "You have a way of making people feel comfortable around you." This kind of compliment touches something deeply human. Most people move through life wondering how they affect others. They hope they're kind enough, thoughtful enough, good enough. When someone acknowledges the positive emotional impact they have, it creates a sense of warmth that's difficult to describe. It tells them that their presence matters. And presence is something far more meaningful than appearance. Because appearances fade, styles change, trends disappear, but the way someone makes others feel, that stays in memory for years. Now step back for a moment and look at the pattern behind all 8 compliments. None of them focus purely on looks. Instead, they recognize energy, strength, kindness, curiosity, authenticity, passion, independence, and emotional presence. These are the qualities that shape someone's character, and character is what creates lasting attraction. The truth is, physical compliments may capture attention for a moment, but emotional recognition captures the heart. When someone feels valued for who they are inside, the connection becomes deeper than surface-level interest. But here's the part that matters most. Compliments should never feel like a strategy. They should come from a genuine place of appreciation. Because real attraction is not about saying the perfect words, it's about noticing the right things. When you truly observe someone, you begin to see details others overlook, their quiet strengths, their kindness, their passion for life, and when those observations are expressed with honesty, they create something powerful: respect, connection, trust. These are the invisible threads that weave attraction between two people, and often it begins with a single thoughtful sentence spoken at the right moment. So let me ask you something personal. Think back to your life for a moment. What is the most meaningful compliment someone has ever given you? The one that stayed in your memory long after the conversation ended. Share your answer in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else who reads it. And if this message resonated with you, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who would appreciate understanding the deeper psychology of human connection. Because sometimes, the right words spoken at the right time can change the way two people see each other forever.